All right, guys, welcome back. Match day 3 is complete, which means we now not only have our quarterfinal matchups, we have our FIFA U17 CAF playoff matchup setup as well. So let's get into it, talk about the games that came. And again, if you like this type of content, we do African and Canadian content because we want to be the Africans. We didn't do both. So if you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when the video drops. Let's look at these matchups. What makes this interesting is some of them we already knew, right? The South Africa versus Burkina Faso matchup where Burkina Faso wins 2-0, by the way. Lookman Tapsoba is honestly starting to be the story of this tournament for me, even though you still have some good sides. He's been a player. 4 goals, 1 assist. He has been everywhere in this game. He scores the second goal in that game. Burkina Faso were already in the World Cup. They had already qualified by way of being top 2 in the group. But defeating South Africa 2-0 only went on to help their cause there. Egypt getting a 2-1 victory over Cameroon again solidifies their position and open up their window, meaning they were able to start to find opportunities for them. The host, Morocco, with a 3-0 win over Tanzania. Tanzania needed a win to have a chance and maybe a Uganda loss, which they did get. However, Uganda with their 3-0 win over Tanzania in their match day 2 window, that put Uganda in a third place window, meaning Zambia with a 2-1 win gets the second slot in Group B. In Group C, you have Cote d'Ivoire beating Mali. Mali were already qualified and moving on to this next round. So Cote d'Ivoire, maybe Mali were a little bit lethargic. Maybe they didn't have the motivation. They were already guaranteed, maybe trying to avoid injuries. Who knows? But a 2-goal win for Cote d'Ivoire puts them into the quarterfinals as well. And opens up the door for them to go to the FIFA World Cup. Angola with a 6-1 win over Central African Republic, looking for goals to guarantee them the opportunity to move on. These last 2 games, I think, were interesting for me. Senegal over Somalia 2-0. Those Somalia needed a victory, weren't able to get it. Gambia versus Tunisia was a matchup of automatic qualification. And I mean, VAR was busy during match day 3. We saw them busy with the Senegal matchup. We saw them busy with the Gambia-Tunisia matchup. The go-ahead goal to me may have been a little bit soft for a penalty, but you definitely saw the leg contact, and you can understand why the ref would have given it to it. So Tunisia comes up, wins this game 2-1, opening up their opportunities to play, which means now we know what our quarterfinal matchups are. And our quarterfinal matchups become very interesting in terms of teams we're looking at. So here are our matchups over April 10th and the 11th. So just so you know what the schedule is, April 10th and the 11th, we'll have quarterfinal matchups. On the 12th, you'll have the playoff positions for CAF. Then on the 15th will be the semifinals. And then the 19th will be the finals, with the 18th being the third place game. So let's go to what our matchups are. And I think these are very tasty matchups based off teams that we've seen. Morocco versus South Africa. South Africa have shown that they have the resilience to come back on a team, but they also are a side that want to dominate possession. I think that'll be a matchup to see which side there wants to truly be the possession team, but also which side can take advantage of their opportunities and truly finish. We saw that against South Africa and Burkina Faso. They just weren't able to get their finishes here. So that left them on the ill side of a 2-0 victory. So that's on the 10th. Also on the 10th, Burkina Faso, I think Lookman, like we said, versus Zambia. Lookman to me is my story of the tournament. He has very much shown out well. And guys, if you have other players who have really played well, put those in the comments as well. Versus Zambia. I think Zambia, the Copperheads have been looking very good in terms of how they are playing. So I'm very much curious to see how that matchup looks. Then on the 11th, you have Cote d'Ivoire versus Senegal. A nice little West African derby going on there. I think Senegal might look good, but Cote d'Ivoire, after a big win, might be feeling themselves in terms of their opportunities to go through. And then their last matchup, Mali v Tunisia. I think this might give you, between this match, I think all 4 matchups will give you some good football. But Tunisia, I saw how they're moving the ball versus Gambia. I think they look good, but Mali is a side at this level who've always been good. To me, if there's a matchup I'm circling, it is certainly that Mali v Tunisia matchup and then that Morocco v South Africa matchup at the U17 level. That to me are very interesting matchups for me. Now, on the 12th, like we said, we have the two World Cup playoff slots, and those are Uganda versus Gambia, and then Egypt versus Angola. I think Egypt versus Angola might be the game with the more fireworks. I think Gambia can be a volatile team, not that in terms of their temperament, but they could be a side that can give you 4 goals. They could also be a side that they'll miss 4 goals, just based off how they've played. They've not been outplayed too badly in all their games. They've had opportunities in all their games to just haven't been able to finish. And Uganda have been able to show that fight as well, but also able to score. So I think that Uganda Gambia matchup will be very interesting for me. The winner of those 2 matchups get the 9th and 10th slots for CAF. Those are the things. So remember, so the quarterfinalists already going to the World Cup. The last 2 slots, because CAF has 10 slots, are going to either Uganda, Gambia, or Egypt or Angola. So good luck to the teams. I'm looking forward to some good football. We'll have a few days of rest. But until then, guys, as always, I'm going to stop talking right here.